Hello everyone, Raydred here, back with another Godforge video. Now in last Tuesday's video, Simon showed us some of the UI, gear, weapons, that kind of thing. And today's video is a follow-on from that. Simon mentions himself that there was still some grey area and some things that us CCs have misunderstood, and he just wants to set the picture straight, if you were. So apologies if I contributed to any confusion there. We also get a look at some new heroes that we've sort of seen 2D concepts for, looking at some of them in game, some that we haven't seen at all, some new portraits we've not seen at all as well. So all very exciting stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, as always, I will put a link to the full video in the description down below, so if you want to watch it without me talking over the top, you can. Anyway, I'm going to go grab the headphones and we'll listen to what Simon has to say. So to start the video, Simon shows us some of the campaign visuals that we've got now, and some of them look really, really cool. But I just paused it here just because there's a couple of heroes we've not seen before, or one rather, in set, the epic, you know, looking really cool with his polearm spear there, looking wicked.
I just want to show you actually how some of the screens are starting to look in Unity.
Wow, so this is really cool for me. We're seeing so many portraits here, right? So Ra, we've seen him, we know he's existed before, but we now know that he is Wisdom, Divine Eclipse, Order, and a Slayer. So he's going to be big badass. Anubis, we've seen before. Artemis, we've seen this portrait for a while. We now know she's cunning. Dracula's cunning. Yeah, quite a few here now. And I mentioned in one of my reaction videos that I would love if the portraits could also sort of give off a bit of a vibe of the faction that they are from. And they certainly look a lot cleaner to me. And at the back here, behind Ra's head, you can see sort of sand dunes behind Artemis, Hades, and Athena, which was leaked to us a couple of days ago, actually. Again, it's a different look, same on her. So I like that, and I feel like it adds more to the portrait as well and helps you identify your characters and things. Looking really cool. Love this. So as Simon starts to scroll down, we can see a few more people. Now, I just want to highlight on Athena here quickly. We'll see her in a second, but in the most recent video, we were showing the cinematic. And in the cinematic, I said it was likely Brunhild. That was the thumbnail, which was down there, okay? And I was wrong. I knew I was wrong not too long after, because something was pointed out to me, and that was the snakes on the shield. Now, there's only one god in lore and things that has had snakes on her shield, specifically the Gorgon Medusa, and that was Athena. So I made this post a couple of days ago, and recognizing my mistake, and then we're about to see her in here, which is awesome. But yeah, just a slight note, if you ever watch my videos and you think maybe they're too short, or you want to know more about my thoughts to deeper depth, I do post normally a day or two after my YouTube video comes out, just FYI.
Other ones that you might not have seen. I don't want to show too many, but check out the shield.
As Simon said, check out the shield. So we knew there was going to be snakes there, and I thought there'd be a small face of Medusa. I didn't think the entire thing would just be an embossed Medusa. That looks really, really cool. I love that.
Athena is kicking it with the shield. She's obviously not rigged yet, but loving it.
One other thing to note, we know that she is Chaos and a Disruptor, but this hero is work in progress, so there might be a few changes. Dracula, cunning. This one, I believe, is Isis. as a cunning hero as well. Super cool.
It. Who else is
Got Yanluo Wong as a strength hero.
looking pretty fresh out?
Fisher King Void, Freya Void, Horus, but we already knew he was Void. But yeah, these portraits just look a lot cleaner. I'm a big fan of the change in the portraits.
Out there. Solid work on Freya. Like, obviously, again, not rigged, but look at the quality now. We're starting to really get the lighting improved so that we're starting to really sell the heroes in a better way.
Another Chaos Disruptor.
So
Imhotep here. So it's cool to see him, that he is an epic. And this is the other thing as well. Some of these heroes I've had on the site, but I've had no idea who's what. And yet Imhotep is an epic wisdom hero. You can see Ran coming up here as well.
some of the larger heroes, we're just able to fit them in better. We're actually going to crop the wings in on the Sphinx here.
Now, this one I thought was particularly interesting. We have a golden knight, or a knight in... It might not be golden. It could just be the angle and the lighting. Now, we've not seen this guy. There's been no note to this guy. But I think this is Lancelot right here. Arthurian legend Lancelot. And, you know, we might have something to sort of help us identify that if we look at the Fisher King or other Avalon heroes. If they have done what perhaps I suggested and changed the backgrounds. The background for this mystery guy looks similar to the Fisher King one, perhaps. So my guess is perhaps first look at Lancelot.
That it fits the vibe better.
We've then got Mordred as well, and again he has a very similar to this guy above here, so that is my guess. We got Lancelot there. Set we see there. This guy is a bit of a mystery. I'll take a look deeper into it. I don't want to make this video too long. But I bet I could guess who that is as well. I don't believe we've seen this one yet. But I think this is Orpheus. Perhaps that one is Orpheus right there. Again, I could be wrong, but that would be my guess.
Better.
Gilgamesh Void. Love Gilgamesh. Like, we knew he was going to be in the game. Glad to see it there. Pandora right here. Now I really hope that we see her weapon just being a box. I think that would be kind of funny. And then the implicit be like a random implicit from the other weapons that are out there. That would be really hard to implement, but I think that would be a wicked idea. Aslaug, Lagertha, both here, Hippolyta. Like, I've got a ton more work to do now. I've been upgrading all of the pages, and now I'm going to have to go back into them and update the ones I've already updated. But I'm so glad we're seeing some of the affinities and things now for these guys.
If we have got specifically massive heroes, we've now got the camera to kind of like auto-focus
so
on the right
cool.
sort of spots for them. The Minotaur looking beastly.
Percival probably here, I think. Not Percival. Tristane. This guy, I think, is Vidar.
Even a dragon in the mix right now, but damn, he's not rigged, which is he's super long. In fact, he's Zulong. Yeah, so very, very cool.
Dagonet Seer. Don't know who this guy is. This could be Druid. Again, we've only seen in name Druid. Valkyrie. Like, I don't know if this has changed, but I think this portrait's better. Same with for Kanoichi now. Yeah, it feels very clean.
But yeah, we're starting to get a lot
Nemean Lion, probably Nubian Warrior.
more heroes in the mix.
So this is sort of like a presentation from Henry, who does the UI and the UX, and it just shows sort of where he's at and what's completed, what isn't, that kind of thing. and it's pretty cool. Like, victory screen, death, defeat screen, that was all done in January. Not entirely sure what user flow is, but the starter hero selection's been done now. Again, we've seen an image with 3 crystals that was placeholder, but get a vibe, so that's kind of cool. The Sanctum, we can clearly see that it's not done yet. But tooltips, equipping, all of that's done. Deconstruction's not. Collection index, battle UI. The summon animation they're still working on, and Simon has touched on that. Campaign world map's almost finished. But this I find interesting, the Izumo map. Now, Izumo is a place in Japan which is steeped in sort of history and myth. Essentially, what I think this is I think this is a new dungeon. Okay, so far all of the dungeons have been themed around something, and in Susanoo's lore, that is where he slayed Yamato no Orochi, which is essentially, Orochi means snake. It was a 9-headed, 9-tailed snake. I'll see if I can find a picture for you quickly. My apologies, I'm wrong. 8 heads, 8 tails. But yeah, essentially it's like a hydra. What we know to be hydra in sort of Greek lore, that kind of thing. But yeah, Susanoo slayed it at Izumo. So I think that this is potentially going to be a dungeon in Godforge.
Okay, then, so let's talk weapons. Weapons, I showed you during the last video, and basically there's a number of different elements. We've got a weapon that you can farm or earn or win and upgrade. There will be an implicit ability which improves as you upgrade the weapon. There'll be stats which improve as you upgrade the weapon. And then there's 3 different areas here. So if you attune the weapon, then you're able to gain additional stats for anybody who is in the right faction. You can only attune a weapon to the right faction. So the UI is off here because it's just placeholder stuff, but this is our Khajiit symbol, which means that you would have to attune to a Khajiit member of your team to be able to get this ability of additional implicit bonus. Okay, so if it's 30% now and you attuned it, that would take you up to 35%. And this is something you would have to pay like a currency, a gold currency, to be able to do. If you decided to take it off of somebody, the attunement would be lost.
Okay, so just want to clarify something here then, and Simon will obviously tell us if we are wrong. If you attune the weapon, this goes up by 5%. That's what I'm getting here, okay? And then if you upgrade it to 3-star, perhaps this will increase by 5% for every star. And then if it's attuned, this might go up by another 5% for every rank. If that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Again, tell us if we're wrong.
And you'd have to reattune to somebody else. The blue symbol here is actually to lock it to somebody who is the right user of that actual weapon. So the example here, this is Excalibur. Excalibur would only be possible to even get this bonus if you did this to King Arthur, for example. So again, it's a way to really min-max your builds here to be able to improve. These other tabs are literally just sort of color showcases of the different weapons, but you would obviously have different implicits for different rarities of weapons.
So the other thing to clarify is it works differently to how most things work as well. In that, so to attune the weapon, we're going to have to pay a gold cost of some sort, and it's going to be reasonably expensive because this is a commitment thing. Okay. However, to remove the weapon costs nothing. You would then just have to pay again to reattune it. That's what we're getting, I think.
And then you're able to imprint the passive of a hero onto a weapon. If you decide to change that imprint to a different imprint, the original imprint is lost. And
that's what how I thought it would work, and that's what I've put on my site as well.
Imprints can be farmed through events and things like that. There will be some fun mechanics in how to get them as well, but they're also going to be like a duplicate hero that you turn into an imprint because you don't want them anymore. So hopefully that's cleared up a few of the things around weapons. Now we got the kind of like gearing screen here. This also is where your weapon will be. So this will give you an idea of some of the work that's done. So yeah, you could kind of go in and enhance. Again, some of this is functional, some of it is not. But if you go into enhance, you'll then go to this screen where you're...
I love this background here. I think this looks wicked. You can clearly see it's the Avalon sword. Yeah, I think that looks really cool.
Able to refine the weapon, which is basically leveling it up, which is going to give you more stats, and ultimately at different kind of like waypoints, as you star them up, you'll also improve the quality of the implicit as well. You then go into this kind of like imprinting thing, so which is very cool, honestly. So you're able to select the weapon that you want. You're then able to...
It's kind of a 15% chance to place daze for 1 turn on enemies when reducing their turn meter to 0. Interesting. I wonder where that's from.
Choose the imprint that you want to put in for the weapon, hit imprint, and obviously it will say, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's going to destroy one of your valuable resources.
Okay, so that answers the question that if you imprint something again as well, you lose it. That's it. You don't get to take it off and keep it again. It's imprinted. That's done.
And bam, we get this kind of like turntable success rate, and then the weapon is then imprinted with your new imprint. So Susanoo here becomes the imprint, although it's like the Leonidas's face.
Okay, so that answers the question that this is Susanoo's passive. So Susanoo is definitely in the game. Because I thought this might be placeholder, but no, this is Susanoo's passive, which maybe means the days could be Leonidas's.
This is a funny thing when obviously these mock-ups are done. There's so many things about this which are wrong, but it's now called Excalibur of Susanoo because that's what the imprint was. This obviously should be an Avalon symbol, and this should be Susanoo's face and all that type of stuff. But ultimately, that was what happened there. Those two things combined to become one weapon.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. This is great. So this is gonna sort of be like your weapon collection again. Weapons index. This should be called the arsenal or the armory. I did mention it in chat a few days ago, and it seemed like Saf and Simon were on board with it, perhaps changing it. But yeah, maybe they need to keep it simple so everyone understands. But yeah, I do think armory or arsenal, you know, I just feel like it fits. But you can see you've got Excalibur, Kusanagi, Mjolnir, Sovnia, Spearbreaker, Galantine. Oh, there's going to be so many hits. It's going to be so cool.
And then obviously you'll have your kind of like index of your different weapons that are available. And you'll be able to sort of go in and say, oh, okay, if I really want another Mjolnir, how do I get it? Like, where do I need to go? And there'll just be like a, go and farm it here, or this is what you can do to get that item. So
love that. I think that's super cool. And the other thing is as well is it shows you clearly who the iconic match is. So Excalibur will be with King Arthur. Mjolnir will probably have Thor here as well. Love that.
Gives you an idea of different things that you can do with that. This, I think, is super cool. So a summoning experience. Now, we're reworking the actual summoning experience because at the moment we've got a placeholder kind of like summoning in.
You can hear the dog running around in Simon's background. But ladies, I like this as well. I think this looks cool as well when you pull someone, or maybe this is what happens when you click on them in game, but it tells you, you know, what they are, faction, aura, that kind of thing.
In game. But ultimately, when you summon a hero, you'll be able to come in and select the skills. And
oh, that's cool. I mean, it's cool for me as well because I've now got some stuff to put on Lady Zoc. Bleed confirmed debirth. You know Drac is going to have that.
Then there'll be like a short kind of like video clip here which shows you the skill in action.
Kind of like Watcher of Realms.
As well as gives you the information about the skill. So you'll be able to...
Vision Serpent. That has 20% chance. Oh, you only need to build it with 80% crit for this ability. The enemy is defeated. Place speed up on this hero. Cool.
To see, yeah, anyone you're super excited about, it's like, okay, what are these?
Sacrificial right, attack one enemy, and that's it. Place one stick. That might have been the same as the basic. Now, the basic was called Bloodletting, but it was the same. Damn you, Simon and Grim, hiding this on purpose.
And yeah, I think that's super cool. So again, just trying to amp up the kind of like, yeah, the feeling when you get those things. We've got a defeat screen here, just kind of like showing you who's been leveling, where the damage went. And also if you lose, it's kind of like, we're going to give you a couple of areas that you could go to improve what's going on. So
one thing I always hated with the raid screen. So again, Brad touched on this in the video he did with Susie, and I think it was great that they want to make sure you get lots of information here, and I imagine the victory screen is going to be the same. The thing that bugs me with raid is if someone levels up, it doesn't actually tell you how much XP they gained. So even though it says level up, I hope it still says after 22,000 or something like that. Again, just a little thing, but something I'd like.
You know, if half your heroes are not ascended, for example, then get stronger by doing this. Or, you know, if people don't have armor on, get stronger by doing this. So really just some kind of like tooltips to help people improve their gear or improve their setup. Actually, something else on that screen, to kind of like share your team with anyone in your kind of like clan or like a social post if you wanted to. So
I think that's cool. It means you're probably going to have to give Godforge permissions to like Discord, Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that. But I still think that's a really cool facility to have because, you know, let's be honest, we all love flexing on our friends.
There's different things in our finish screens that will end up being quite cool. And basically, Henry then goes on to look at what's next. So what's the kind of like big ticket items he's working on next in terms of screens, and it will be anything around guilds, which actually are going to be called Pantheons, and yeah, and that.
I love that. Not only is it thematical, and I love that it's called Pantheons, but it also explains the wording in the voice actor from the last cutscene that we saw, where she says you got to forge your own Pantheon. Yeah, that just sums it up. Pantheons being guilds. Love that.
That's the kind of like next big one that he's working on. So hopefully that is really interesting for you guys to see as we start to progress. But yeah, tons of work now going into implementation,
Amazonian Queen, Defender,
polish, and, you know, like
Sunrise Redeemer, Invoker, Pandora, Keeper of Chaos. Absolutely.
quality. We've got tons of animation.
Oh, there's a box. A box is there. Did we get a better look at it slightly?
Visual quality. We've got tons
of
animations, rigging, VFX.
Love the purple.
All being done behind the scenes. So, yeah, it's all starting to come together.
Horus is a defender as well,
which is very, very cool. There you go, guys.
There we are. That is the end of that. So, lots of cool things there. Really enjoyed a lot of that. Simon Post, sorry. Yeah, shedding some light on some things. I love the change in the portraits. You know, hopefully some clarity on weapons and things for everyone as well. I got a boatload more work to do on the website now. I got to Odin on the changed pages, but now I'm going to have to go back, just update everything before I continue, because I can't leave things half and half, and I've got, you guys can't see it, but I got a whiteboard just down there with all the stuff that I got to do. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Take care and look after yourselves. Work hard, but as always, play harder, and I'll see you in another one soon. Cheers.